I'm making 50K a month just sending out emails. Why am I going to spend, a year, 2 years trying to figure out how to rank websites? But I would make 50K in 1 month and then literally nothing the next month. All my accounts be shut down. And I thought to myself, I need stability. There were funds that were kind of approaching me saying, hey Mo, look, we have X amount of money. Would you be interested in running all these websites? We'll do the money side, we'll do the management side. Can that work?
How have investors been looking at niche sites?
Does it have an e-commerce store? Does it have additional traffic? Are we monetizing not just with ads, but with affiliate? Are we doing partnership, etc.? Pinterest by far for me has been really, really large scale, a way to diversify outside of organic search. If you're not involved in AI in some shape or form, for productivity, for fine tuning, for just kind of proofreading things, you're definitely missing out.
Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode where I'll be interviewing SEO experts and entrepreneurs from around the world. In today's episode, I've got a very, very interesting guest for you guys today. He is an entrepreneur and SEO from London in the UK. He's been creating a niche site fund, which is there's a lot of interest in the niche site community and kind of a lot of dystopia takes about how Google is treating the niche site community and stuff. So I think your guest today is going to give you a bit more of an insight from a little less emotional view and more of an investor, logical mentality when it comes to these sites, and one who is definitely not shying away from creating new content and new niche sites in 2024. Please welcome to the channel, Mo Mullah, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, nice to be here. Good to be on the call. Hopefully going to share some really cool gems today as well, so it should be an impactful one.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you coming on. Do you want to give everybody a bit of a background on how you got started in SEO?
So my SEO journey only started about 6 or 7 years ago. Before that, I was in affiliate marketing, and specifically my bread and butter was email marketing. So we had a really strategic way of kind of funneling leads in. We would kind of buy or like co-register with other providers. They would be imported into like an autoresponder, multiple autoresponders. And then we would send out like really tailor-made emails to like a specific kind of vertical. So usually Forex, binary, kind of high ticket leads. And we used to make a killing basically, pretty much on a monthly basis. I did it for about 5 or 6 years, and we were doing like minimum 20K a month and maximum about 75, 80K a month. And you got to like imagine, I was like early mid 20s ish. I was making ridiculous cash, and also with that type of system, most of the profit is kind of most of the revenue is profit, because all I have to do is pay for email marketing costs. And honestly, if that continued to kind of scale, I wouldn't be in SEO. But there were compliance laws and anti-spam laws changed, and it was just a lot harder to kind of get those leads in, mail them out, and see an ROI. So I slowly came into kind of the SEO world. I obviously knew about affiliate marketing. I knew about kind of growing websites, but not the kind of nuts and bolts of how do you actually rank a site with organic search. It was not something that I really wanted to get involved in, because to me, it seemed quite long and long-winded. I'm making 50K a month just sending out emails. Why am I going to spend, a year, 2 years trying to figure out how to rank websites? But with the decline of that particular kind of project and business, also I was starting a family and I wanted more diversity. In the old business, I would make 50K in 1 month and then literally nothing the next month, because all my accounts would be shut down. And I thought to myself, I need stability. So pretty much just trained myself on SEO for like a year, just done absolutely nothing, just went in all in with SEO. And then from that point onwards, it's just kind of scaled every single year upwards to where I am now.
So did GDPR actually affect you then when it came into
A little bit. I was kind of like just coming out of that industry when it kind of came into a thing. But most of my leads were kind of US based. So there were like some crazy spam laws in the US, and it was affecting the business basically.
Yeah, it makes sense. There's a lot of all sorts of like privacy laws and stuff that came into effect in the last kind of decade or so, and even in the early 2000s and stuff, that really started changing the internet. What was your first successful website that was in SEO, not necessarily from email marketing and stuff, right?
Yeah. So I've still got it. It's Parent Insight. I literally started up in just before COVID. It was like my tester site to kind of figure stuff out. And then I just had kids at the time, so it made sense. I was just literally sitting there. I remember writing 3,000 words articles, and I was doing like 3 or 4 articles a day. And I was just banging out these articles. It was crazy, but it made sense to me because I was like super in like new daddy mode. So I knew exactly what to write about. It made a ton of sense, and I was like scaling like 30 or 40 articles a month. And that particular website, which I still have, it has probably been, that was my first successful website. And that's when kind of the bolts ticked, and I thought, okay, this can actually be like a business if I do it correctly. Scale this one, scale another one, etc.
And now for a quick message from our sponsor, Search Intelligence. If you're looking for digital PR campaigns, what you're about to see should impress you.
What a masterpiece PR link building campaign. With 20 links in big publications such as The Sun, Express, Mirror, Wales Online, and still landing, I would say this campaign is a massive success. We told the press that people should turn on their heating this summer if they want to save money next winter. And we landed over 20 links in national and regional UK publications for our boiler client. That's crazy. The campaign hook was pretty clever. It is a known fact, at least in the boiler trade, that if you keep your boiler off for many months, it might rust and it might get you into trouble if you keep it turned off from spring to next winter. We therefore advise the press, with an expert commentary piece, on behalf of our boiler client, that people should turn on their boilers this summer just when the heat wave is in full swing. This way they can avoid a boiler failure next winter and save money. Massive publications picked up our story, including The Sun, Express, Mirror, Wales Online, and a few more dozen publications, giving our client links, lots of links, and lots of happiness hormones. No wonder that so many journalists covered our story, as this headline is a massive link magnet to their audience. This case study highlights the fact that a clever hook can be applied to any insight or story to make a campaign more successful and more compelling to journalists. Can you imagine when people see this headline in the news, "You should turn on your boiler this summer"? There's no way they would not click on it. I would click on it. So this was the hook, and this is why this campaign was so successful. I hope this video inspires and shows you what's possible with a clever hook.
So you run a bit of a fund, right, for your website. So you don't necessarily put all the cash to invest or build a website from scratch yourself. You try and get investors. And is it more traditional investors, or how does that work? How have you traditionally gone out and found investors to invest in these more new age digital assets?
Yeah, good question. So I have like I wouldn't say it's a fund, it's more like a joint venture partnership. But when I was first approached with my kind of success scaled, there were funds that were kind of approaching me saying, "Hey Mo, look, we have X amount of money and capital to invest. Would you be interested in running all these websites, kind of running the fund? We'll do the money side, you'll do the management side. Can that work?" And I thought, I mean, yes, it could, but if I'm being honest, it was like I have to be with that one kind of joint venture partner. There was some red tape around funds as well that I thought at the time was kind of restricting. But I was interested in that kind of space. I had seen at the time there were some funds that were running and they were doing really, really well. So it was something I was interested in. But I think as I saw some of the like practicality issues, I thought, let's just JV up. We'll do 1 or 2 sites first, see how that works, and then that's what kind of I've been doing now. So if someone kind of approaches me and say, "Hey Mo, look, I've got X amount of cash. What would you do with it? How should I invest it?" We just do a joint venture. It's a lot easier.
So how have investors been looking at niche sites and websites, and specifically content sites, in the last few years? Has there been kind of a move away from them, or has there been renewed interest, or is it just all about AI? How are kind of the investors viewing it these days?
Yeah, good question. I think investors usually look for ROI, right? So the ROI in websites technically is still there. Now traditionally, how I kind of scaled my sites 5 years ago is not really available anymore. So it's like the way that they would see it is based on not just having one traffic source, which is organic search. They're looking at like other components to add to the business. Does it have an e-commerce store? Does it have additional traffic? Are we monetizing not just with ads but with affiliate? Are we doing partnerships, etc.? So if the business has a real substance to it, it still is very attractive. And of course, anything that's on the organic traffic side is never going to be that attractive because it literally just dips up and down. The more stable, the more sensible for investors. But I still think there's a lot of interest in this space. But like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it's changed. Before it was traffic, organic search, and ads, people are super happy to invest in that. And then now it's probably not that kind of structure. It's more of like a traditional business.
So have multipliers changed in that kind of time frame as well?
Yeah, 100%. So multipliers they've gone down. I think we saw a spike during COVID. The spike was, in my opinion, I thought it was too high. 40x, 45x, sometimes 50x for these sites. It made it risky, in my opinion, for someone coming in and actually investing in this space. I never wasn't really sustainable. So it's definitely come down now. I think probably it's in around 28-ish, between like 28 and 30-ish multiple now, which is probably more realistic. Probably not great for sellers, but fantastic for someone buying if you know what to look for.
Yeah, especially if you can immediately add value to that business, right? You can come
100%.
in, you acquire niches where you can get the audience list or the customer list or the email list or this traffic and just implement additional value immediately on top of it. Immediately going to increase that valuation of the business. Right. I also think there's a lot to be said because of the multipliers going down, that a lot of the companies that are listed now, and I've been speaking to people like Don Wells and stuff, that if they can acquire companies and just put it on, they can acquire at a 28x multiplier. But as soon as it's on a listed value company, it's a 60x multiplier. So it's just immediately doubling their value, right? Just because they have that power, right? So I think that's also very interesting to see kind of from the investors, that even now you're seeing like these large public funds basically being created to kind of jump on this trend. So you said that you were using other traffic sources kind of there, or your investors were looking at other traffic sources. What have been your biggest traffic sources so far, apart from Google?
So right now, so right now, I think the one it's probably my biggest, and it's also the one that I didn't expect to kind of scale it in this way. It's definitely Pinterest. It's something that I never would have even explored before. I kind of run an agency, so management side, and I've seen some of our client sites, seeing what they're capable of, and seeing some of the diversified traffic sources, and specifically the analytics of how some of these social media type accounts work. I was surprised. So off the success of one of a few clients that I've seen, I've launched kind of my own Pinterest campaigns, and they're just, once you get it right, Pinterest is like a really, really high value place to kind of diversify traffic. And it's something that I would recommend people kind of just test it, get in kind of and get your toes wet. But yes, Pinterest by far has been really, really large scale a way to diversify outside of organic search.
Yeah, and there's some niches now where Pinterest seems to be the biggest traffic source. If you look at things like weddings and stuff, it seems like Pinterest is dominating across the board, right? So there are some markets where Pinterest may be the main place to go to these days, right?
I agree. And the cool thing about Pinterest is, and this is what I say to kind of clients and people that approach me about just anything diversified. Not every single traffic source is going to be relevant to every single niche, obviously. And I do think Pinterest is more lifestyle, it's more visual, it's more colors, it's more contextual. I would say mainly the demographic on there is kind of women, so bear that in mind as well. Not always, but mainly. But if you kind of get into that zone of who is on the social network, what are they doing and what are they looking for, then that's the best way to get people to at some point visit your website or service or product, whatever it's going to be. And for me at the moment, Pinterest is women on their phone looking for fun things, images, things to send to their friends, etc., colors, etc. And they want to pin things that are interesting for them and that look good. So if you have that and your niche can kind of produce a visually appealing pin or graphic, then that's going to like 100% make a difference. And of course, you've got to scale it over many months as well.
Yeah. So it's kind of a 2-in-1 question for you. So how has AI kind of changed your business so far? Are you using more AI content? Are you not using it? Are you trying to stay away? Are you building AI completely AI sites? How are you using it? And how do you also see it kind of changing your current business in the future as well?
Yeah, 100%. So for me, I didn't really get involved in AI till about 6 months ago, realistically. It'd been around since, I guess, November 2022. But for me, it seemed a bit like the tech wasn't ready for me to kind of use. I tested it, but nothing serious. Probably in the middle of like Q3 of last year, like August, September, I actually started to get involved, pick up some subscriptions, softwares, and it's been revolutionary. I don't really know how I used to do certain things without it. And I'm talking about just super simple things like I have a management company, and part of that service is we write emails for people. So now I use AI to write pretty much like every single email that I write for my clients' emails, and also to fine tune my own ones as well. So the small scale level of AI has been really, really good. Just small things like teaching VAs how to do certain things, helping them understand certain things. I also do write content with it as well. I usually use it as a kind of a first draft, and then I'll shoot it over to my team to write. I wouldn't recommend just literally having an entire piece of AI content, hitting post, and then letting it do its thing. People do have really good results with just all AI content. I personally wouldn't recommend it. I think the most recent core update has kind of shown that probably Google's not looking for like just pure AI content. But yeah, so overall, like AI, it's a fantastic trend. I think if you're not involved in AI in some shape or form for productivity, for fine tuning, for just kind of proofreading things, you're definitely missing out. And I also think there's a window right now where a lot of businesses don't really understand the AI. They're not really using it. So if you know which tools to use and you can utilize certain tools, especially image-based tools, like AI for image is amazing. You'll win, 100% win. So yeah, it's definitely been an addition to the business.
Are there any specific tools that you'd recommend to people as well?
So at the moment, there's tons of tools, but I think one of the best ones that I use is something called it's called 2111 or something like that, where basically it's like a pitching tool. So you put AI text into it and it reads the script for you, and it just kind of like just does it in like loads of different tones and loads of different narrating voices. And we use that for some of our YouTube campaigns, in some of the niche sites which do really, really well. So we're able to scale like faceless YouTube videos for a particular campaign or site. And we don't really have to show our face, which is fantastic. So I just literally outsource to a VA. I show him how to do a script by ChatGPT. He puts that script into this, I think it's called 2111 or something like that. And then yeah, it voices it for us. And then again, he goes into another script. I think this one's called In Studio, which they use kind of like an AI element, and then puts it together. Then it goes out to it as a YouTube video. Super simple to use. It was something that would cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars, like post AI. Now it cost me like, I don't know, $10, $20, $30. So it's like, it makes a ton of sense if you know how to use it.
And it's also kind of overlapping marketing activities as well. So you have a YouTube video that could also promote your SEO because of YouTube description links and entity stacking and all this kind of stuff, right? And there's one marketing activity that you could just do for social media or you could just do for SEO can actually have unintended consequences elsewhere that can be good consequences, right? They can be additional signals and things for your marketing. So I really appreciate coming on today, Mo. Do you have anywhere that people can find you online?
Yeah, so my kind of main title is called Niche Website Management. Feel free to head over there. You can find me on Twitter as well, pretty active on Twitter. Again, Niche Website Management, or just shoot me an email, momullahconsultant@gmail.com. And yeah, I'll be able to help and assist with anything you have moving forward.
And I'll put a link to the description in that down below. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Take care.